Imagine this, riding a car without knowing how to handle the brakes, or riding a boat without knowing how to navigate the storm. Well, that is exactly how it is to live this life without knowing how to manage those feelings of yours. But don't worry, you can always learn how to handle your emotions. Hi, my name is Matamanda Ruth Maza, and welcome back to my channel. And as you have already figured out, today's video is about, well, emotions. Emotions are physiological or psychological responses to stimuli, which can be in form of events, situations, or internal thoughts that really affect how you think, how you behave, and your experiences. So knowing how to manage your emotions can really help you to live a fulfilled and happy life. To basically understand how emotions happen, you have to imagine that your brain is divided into a thinking part and an emotional part. So what basically happens is that when you are exposed to an event, sensory information is sent by neurons, which are like the messengers of the body, to your brain, particularly areas that are involved in emotions, such as the amygdala, which is also known as the emotional brain, and the prefrontal cortex, which is also known as the thinking brain. So once the information reaches your brain, the amygdala processes that information and applies emotional significance to it, and decides whether that information is basically a threat, a reward, or neutral, and then triggers the release of neurotransmitters and hormones, which are in turn going to cause your body to respond in a specific way, in a quick, specific way. While the prefrontal cortex is more like the logical guy, the thinking guy, which is responsible for rational thought and decision making and controlling your impulses. Imagine this, you're in the dark for unknown reasons and you suddenly see a snake. Well, the emotional part of your brain is going to pick up that information as a threat and cause the release of hormones such as adrenaline, which will prepare your body for the fight or flight response, which causes you to run away in fear. However, the logical guy, aka your thinking brain, will actually take a step back and be like, oh, okay, let me just process what has just happened and rationally think about the whole thing, which can actually help you realize that, oh, actually this is not a snake, it's actually a toy, and prevent you from impulsively running away. But sometimes the emotional part of your brain likes to act on its own without consulting the thinking brain. This is the reason why sometimes you act irrationally and make decisions that you regret, and you actually wonder, why did I do this? Impulsiveness can really make you regret a lot of things, probably even for the rest of your life. So here are a few steps that you can use in emotional situations and prevent impulsive, irrational actions. Well, first of all, you have to breathe. Learn how to breathe. Take a step back and then acknowledge your emotions, give it importance, and embrace it. Don't try to suppress how you're feeling. After you've done that, try to name your emotion and ask yourself, what is this that I am feeling? Why am I feeling it? Asking yourself why you're feeling it will actually help you to identify the cause of why you're feeling that way, to identify the triggers. For example, when your friend says something offensive to you, what you can do is acknowledge that you're upset and then try to figure out what exactly you're feeling. Are you angry or are you depressed? After doing that, try to figure out why exactly you're feeling that way, which in case could be because your friend has said something offensive. This can actually give your logical mind enough time to actually rationally assess the situation and help you realize and consider probably maybe your friend is saying those offensive things because they are hurt, or maybe there's something that they are going through. This will prevent you from acting impulsively and saying things that you will probably regret. Sometimes we experience repetitive emotions, where repetitive emotions are those emotions that you feel on a regular basis. Some tips that you can use to manage such emotions include, well, firstly, try to deposit positive thoughts in your mind every day. Remember that Bible verse, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Try your best as possible to ignore and avoid negative thoughts, and try to feed your mind with positive thinking, because what you think, what you become. So the more positive you think, probably the happier you're going to be. Another way that you can manage such emotions is by changing your environment. Some events in our lives are obviously uncontrollable, but you can actually control some events that trigger negative emotions to some extent. For example, If you're a person who constantly feels depressed by being on social media, probably which stems from comparing yourself with others, you can actually change your environment by finding other ways to spend your leisure time, such as taking a walk or reading a book. This will actually help you prevent depression. You can also manage your repetitive emotions by changing your behavior. Sometimes your actions go with how you feel. For example, if you're that student, well, like me sometimes, who doesn't really study as much during the academic year and tries to study everything at once during exam period and succumbs to a lot of stress and worry and depression, you can actually change your behavior by being that student who studies from the get-go and prepares for exams in advance. This behavior change can actually help you prevent the negative emotions. Sometimes you feel negative emotions because you're simply lacking in energy. The more you're lacking in energy, the more negative emotions you are likely to feel, like depression. So, increasing your energy has been shown to be a way to manage your repetitive emotions. You can increase your energy by getting enough sleep, eating healthy, avoiding unhealthy habits, and prioritizing rest. Sometimes your emotions can actually affect your mental and physical well-being. In such cases, it's actually important for you to seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help from professionals because if your mind is healthy, your whole body is healthy.